Arsenal is going to be playing away at the London Stadium. That is in London. This is another London derby that Arsenal is going to be playing in. And trust me, this season, Arsenal hasn't been doing well in London derbies. Last season, Arsenal had to win all the 8 London derbies, meaning that they beat Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham, Chelsea, and Fulham home and away. You get, by this time round, they've drawn with Spurs, right? They've gone ahead to lose to West Ham. They've drawn with Fulham. So it looks like these derbies are not going to hate to do them well. Even they drew 2-2 with Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge. And at this juncture, they've been blessed by the underperforming results coming in from their competitors. And Arsenal is 2 points behind Liverpool, meaning that Arsenal are going to have to keep themselves into the queue to obviously compete for this trophy. Amidst them losing these London derbies, they're not going to have to obviously find themselves far off from where they expected to be. And remember that Arsenal is having a very beautiful tie of games that is coming in through, and they need to obviously do the needful. Having gone ahead to obviously beat Liverpool by 3-1 on Sunday, they want to take or to stretch their winning run to another level. Remember, Arsenal, ever since they came from Dubai, they haven't gone ahead to lose a game. They started off with Crystal Palace. They beat Palace by 5-0. They went ahead to win away at Nottingham Forest 1, and they went ahead to win against Liverpool by 3-1, meaning that 3 games in a row have gone ahead to go onto their side, and all those games are in the Premier League. That shows you exactly how good they've been and how they're pushing to where they deserve to be as a side of Arsenal. When you look at West Ham, over the weekend or the previous weekend, they lost to Man United by 3-0, courtesy of Rasmus Højlund and Garnacho's brace at Old Trafford, and they've been really performing badly because even in their previous game they played before coming to Old Trafford to lose to Man United 3-0, they had drawn. And that shows you that they're really having some differences in there for you, and they're really having a blip. And we're going to see whether it's a blip or not a blip, because when they're playing against Arsenal, trust me, it's going to be a huge game where we expect Arsenal to come in through and really put in a very huge shift. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And I hope you guys are really doing fine wherever you are. Remember, this season, Arsenal's going to have to play West Ham 2 times, once in the Premier League and once in the Carabao Cup. All of those ties have seen West Ham beat Arsenal in the Premier League. It ended 2-0 in favor of West Ham. In the Carabao Cup, Arsenal was beaten by West Ham at London Stadium. They're going to be playing on Sunday by 3-1. So it shows you that Arsenal has something to prove. But if you're an Arsenal fan, you would obviously take those 2 results. Not important if at all you win the game on Sunday, because this is the most important game. If Arsenal stretch to 4 games winning in a row, that is going to be a statement, because their remaining fixtures to end the month of February will come in a very good and normal. I think there is Newcastle in the queue for Arsenal. Let me check here, because after playing West Ham, they are playing Burnley away. Then they'll end the month of April by hosting Newcastle, meaning that they're having 2 fixtures. If they win against West Ham, the remaining 2 are going to be really sure wins for Arsenal, meaning that ever since the year started, Arsenal would have gone ahead to win close to 6 consecutive Premier League games, and that is really very important for the side of Arsenal. And you know what it means when you're playing against Manchester City and Liverpool to really fight for the trophy. It's really very, very hectic. You just need to obviously give us the best that you deserve and don't lose any single game. Let's go to the players of Arsenal. Tomiyasu is back, and he trained with the club of Arsenal as they plan to obviously unveil or really announce his new contract. He has gone ahead to agree with the side of Arsenal. Then the other player that is expected to return is Gabriel Jesus, and we don't know what is going to happen. But in the press conference today that the manager of Arsenal is going to conduct at that complex, it's no longer London Conley. It has gone ahead to get a new name from Dubai, where they are going to conduct that press conference. He will tell us what the situation is like for Gabriel Jesus. But Fabio Vieira is still out and Julian Timber is still out. The other players are available. When you go to West Ham, Mikel Antonio and Lucas Paqueta are really out, but Ariola, the goalkeeper who was in between the stitches for the club of West Ham as they took on Manchester United at Old Trafford last Sunday, played 45 minutes only, and Fabianski, formerly at Arsenal, came in through in the second half, has obviously been approved fit. That is Ariola, and is going to be fit. But Lucas Paqueta and Mikel Antonio are really out, and the rest of the players are really available for the side of West Ham. We are going to enjoy this game of football, and it's going to be the same, as you saw Arsenal play West Ham in the Premier League and the Carabao Cup. That's the same way Arsenal is going to really showcase their goodies into these levels, because you will anticipate 100% that Arsenal are going to have a lion's share of the possession, and West Ham are going to pack the bus and hit Arsenal onto the break. They are going to fight for those balls. They are going to bring in the physicality, and it will depend on how Arsenal execute its chances. I tell you, the problem has always been Arsenal not killing off their chances. In the game they played at the Emirates, they had chances and they couldn't obviously score those goals, And every time West Ham really got itself to the best where they deserve to be, they went ahead to obviously score the goal. So it's all about Arsenal going ahead to score their goals, because if they do score their goals, then they are going to beat West Ham. But if they create chances and don't really score their goals, nothing will happen. It's the same story I told you when Arsenal was going to play against Liverpool. I told you that the game that was played in the FA Cup at the Emirates, Arsenal had more clear-cut chances than Liverpool, but the difference was Liverpool killed off their chances and Arsenal failed to kill off their chances. So it's all about Arsenal killing off their chances. If they kill off their chances, they're going to quit, because I know they're going to quit them in plenty. It's going to really go well. And remember last season, Arsenal led at London Stadium in the Premier League game 2-0 at first half, and in the second half, West Ham came and really leveled. They leveled that game and it ended 2-2. So Arsenal needs to be doing a lot. But one thing we know about Arsenal, when they're playing away from home, they put in what we call a lot of energy, and they defend very well. They've gone ahead to concede limited goals away from home, but at Emirates, I think because they open up a lot, it's going to really be huge. But West Ham is also not a soft nut to crack, but they'll miss Lucas Paqueta, because Lucas Paqueta is going to be really missed in that game because of his assists that is going to hit obviously put up for Kudus and Gerard Bowen. Then Calvin Phillips is another one who has been really a culprit for the two games he's going to play for West Ham. His debut, he costed West Ham the first goal, and that game ended 1-1. And at Old Trafford, he was the reason as to why West Ham conceded the third goal, where he was pressed by Scott McTominay and Bruno Fernandes, and they lost that ball. After losing that ball, you know what happened? It ended into the back of the net, and he couldn't even track back, meaning that David Moyes really has a lot to do with Calvin Phillips, because looks like he's rusty, and his lack of minutes at Manchester City has gone ahead to cause him that. But I know he might trust him and get him into that midfield. But let's go into the predicted starting 11 of Arsenal playing away at West Ham on Sunday, and see how things are really going to pan out in here onto the Rokani Media Football. But let's smash the like button close to 200 times, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Remember, we want to hit how many subscribers? We want to hit 20,000 subscribers before the end of this month, and that's why we are really working hard. Yesterday was a bad one. It's a bad day, but here we come to really present you the best. Now in goal, obviously it's David Raya. Aaron Ramsdale, looks like he's left with only one game to play when Arsenal is hosting Brentford at the Emirates Stadium, because David Raya is not eligible to play. But the rest is in for David Raya to come up and really showcase exactly what he has in this game of football. And he has gone ahead to fit in well. For the first games he was playing for Arsenal, he was averaging like 2 mistakes per game. But ever since he got in sync with the back four of Arsenal, remember that back four of Arsenal has always been the same, Now he knows their language, they can speak the same language, he does the best. Though there was a poor game reading in between, or a misunderstanding between Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes and David Raya that resulted into Liverpool leveling towards the end of half time. I think David Raya had the best, and Liverpool had only one shot on target, meaning that Arsenal defended very, very well. And David Raya's ball distribution was really on, goal sweeping abilities, and his ball distribution, shot stopping was all epic. So he starts in goal, and we all know why Arteta went ahead and said, I want David Raya, and Aaron Ramsdale shouldn't be the goalkeeper that I should be using in goal. We go to the right back. It's none other than the man himself, Benjamin White. When you look at Benjamin White, he closed down Luis Diaz very well, by the way. And the biggest worry was that he had gone ahead to get a yellow card, and I think it was around before halftime, and everyone was really shocked that he might obviously be ran over by Luis Diaz, and then he loses his thoughts, and then maybe he gets yellow carded and then sent off the field of play. So when you look at Benjamin White, the return of Tomiyasu is going to be really important, and I think he deserves some rest. So I expect Benjamin White to start on the right, and he's going to be facing is it Mohamed Kudus? One of those, but I think Mohamed Kudus is going to be put here to target this left back of Arsenal, who goes by names of Zinchenko. By the way, for me, if I'm Arteta, I don't start Zinchenko tomorrow. I play Tomiyasu as the left back, but I think he's going to play Zinchenko into that position. But for me, I would go in for Tomiyasu to close onto that left back of Arsenal, because they're having two players that surge from that side. However much Gerard Bowen is being played as a false number 9, he does most of his duties onto the right attacking side of the midfield. That is it. That's where he does most of his duties from. His operations are really seen a lot onto that side. That is Mohamed Kudus, and you wouldn't like to see Mohamed Kudus facing Zinchenko, by the way. That is it, because he has the pace, he has the energy, and Zinchenko, by the way, was not all that disturbed a lot because what's the name of the guy? Mohamed Salah was out of the game of Liverpool, but you saw what he did to him at Anfield, meaning that Zinchenko, if I'm Arteta, I don't start Zinchenko. All I start is Tomiyasu. But any who starts, I think Arteta would have gone ahead to make the best decision. But I think Tomiyasu would have been to be the best decision. But I believe Zinchenko will come in through, and maybe Tomiyasu will come in through to replace him in the other minutes. Then central defense, no doubts, it's Saliba on the right side of the central defense, keeping himself fit, and then Gabriel Magal is coming in through to play into the left side of the central defense. Their central defense partnership has gone ahead to grow stronger. They know themselves, but in the previous two games Arsenal has gone ahead to play, they've been a culprit for the only two goals Arsenal have gone ahead to concede in those games. If you remember the game against Nottingham Forest, you worry a little bit onto how Awayinyi scores that first goal that had gone ahead to put Nottingham into play and threatened the lead of Arsenal. Even the same thing happened when they're playing against Liverpool, meaning that they should obviously look at themselves and really say that this has to stop. It has to stop, and it has to end. That is all about that central defense partnership of Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. They need to obviously up their game when it comes to really defending there. Then we go to the central midfield. I think you go with Jorginho in that midfield. That is it. You go with Jorginho to play into that CDM position. If you say exactly what he did when Arsenal was beating Liverpool, you will need him, because in that game of West Ham, you need that person to obviously hold that ball. I think the best press-resistant CDM that Arsenal have gone ahead to get is Jorginho. When you look at the passes he does, the experience he has just gives Arsenal the best to do. And I would see the two players playing again alongside him, that is Odegaard and Declan Rice. Now, when you're having Declan Rice playing alongside Jorginho, Declan Rice helps you going forward and then backwards. Like, that is the offensive play and the defensive play. And you'll have another extra energetic man who is really good on the ball into that midfield. And you saw to it that when Declan Rice and Jorginho played together against Liverpool, you saw how Martin Odegaard really operated, in the final third of the pitch. You saw how much he really found that last pass. His ball distribution was epic, and he played a lot more into the final third of the opponent around the 18 box area. He could release Martinelli, he could release Bukayo Saka, he could play in Kai Havertz because of exactly what he did in that beautiful game of football. So I think this is why Arsenal want him to be Mendy and Douglas Luiz, because when you're having those players, you are gonna see Odegaard really performing better. Look at how Kevin De Bruyne does his stuff, because he knows he's having Kovacic and Rodri behind him. He has all the freedom to do whatever he wants on the ball. That is really very important. Now, I think that midfield three should be unchanged, and it should be the one that Arteta brings in through to face the side of West Ham at the London Stadium. On the right forward position, obviously Bukayo Saka onto the score sheet again, and in the previous 3 games he has, I think, 3 goal contributions. So that is really great. 2 goals and 1 assist. That is Bukayo Saka for you. So ever since they've gone ahead to return from the winter break from Dubai, they've gone ahead to obviously see Bukayo Saka click. And this is what I'm going to to let you know, that however much is not yet back to where he deserved to be like he did last season, he lets him keep that assist goal, and that will give him confidence to get into the game of football. So for me, I start him as a right forward for Arsenal. Then on the left forward, obviously I start Martinelli. Because he started that game of Liverpool and really looked great. I was a critic for him starting and not for coming in through to start, but he proved to me that he is really ready for his spot again, and he really played very well. And whoever doubts his abilities, you saw what he's good at. And he scored the second goal, that is Gabriel Martinelli, and he was taken off, and Trossard came in through and really scored the third goal to make it 3-1 for the side of Arsenal as they took on Liverpool. But this is where Martinelli has to operate at his best. I need to see him being clinical and taking the best that he deserves as a player. Then after Gabriel Martinelli, we obviously have to see the man himself do his work. That is Nketiah, Jesus, or Kai Havertz. And I tell you what, I stick with Kai Havertz. Whether Jesus is back or not, I stick with Kai Havertz to lead that line. You saw what he gives you every time he plays in that position. And you see, he plays he doesn't play as he played when he's being asked to lead the line for the side of Arsenal, because we know that his best position is a number 10, playing behind a striker. But when you give him a chance to play as a center forward, a false number 9, he gives you that. When you are having people like the Kurt Zumas of this world trying to obviously torment this guy is gonna really play what we call a ghost role. He makes those deep runs, and every time the ball has been kicked through, you see to it that he's there. That is best shown, all described, all orchestrated in the red cards or in the 2 yellow cards that Konate gets. The first yellow card he gets, he's almost in the final third. He tries to go out of Konate, and Konate gets hold of him, and Konate gets a yellow card. In the second offense that sees Konate center of the field of play, do you know what happens? This is the guy, Kai Havertz, coming in through to really have the ball almost in the first third of the pitch, approaching the second third of the pitch. And that's where Konate fouls him to obviously see him sent off. So that shows you how good this guy is, and I think he deserves a start into that role again to obviously torment that side. But Arsenal should be really very observant when it comes to Ward-Prowse, because that guy is really very, very deadly. And those set pieces are really some of the great avenues where we've seen the side of West Ham really score most of its goals, and they are gonna do that a lot. So they should look through those set pieces outside the teenage box area. They shouldn't commit lots of fouls around there, because this guy is a specialist. He's looking for his 18th Premier League free kick goal. That is Ward-Prowse, and when you grant him that chance, he will go ahead and really do that. You've seen that lineup is really unchanged according to one that played to Liverpool, and I think he deserves to obviously reward it again to come in through and really play. Let's go to the head-to-heads and see how things have gone ahead to pan out. First head-to-head, West Ham are looking to complete the Premier League double over Arsenal for the first time since 2006, 2007, following their 2-0 win at the Emirates Stadium in December. So, they are looking for their first season double ever since they did it in 2006, 2007. So, they won 2-0 in December, and if at all they win again, it will be accomplished. But I think Arsenal really having an edge over them. Secondly, Arsenal have lost just one of their last 15 Premier League away games against West Ham. 9 wins, 5 draws, going down 1-0 in January 2019. Current Ghana Declan Rice scored the winner for the Hammers that day. So Declan Rice is going to be playing at the London Stadium for the second time when he's playing against West Ham and playing for the same team, that is Arsenal. West Ham have beaten Arsenal 3-1 in the EFL Cup and 2-0 in the Premier League so far. The last London side to beat the Gunners 3 times in the same campaign were Chelsea in 2005, 2006, while the only time West Ham have done so was in 1924, 1925, meaning that it's going to be really hard for them to obviously do this, but nothing can't happen in the game of football. Then fourthly, West Ham are unbeaten in their last 6 Premier League home games. You know, they have 3 draws and 3 wins and 3 draws. They are yet to go 7 without a defeat at the London Stadium in the competition, last going longer without a home league defeat in April 2016 at Upton Park under Slaven Bilic. So they are looking for their 7th unbeaten game at the London Stadium. 5, having failed to win their final 3 Premier League games in 2023 and losing the last 2, Arsenal have won each of their last 3 Premier League games in 2024 so far. Only in 1935 have the Gunners ever won each of their first 4 league games in a calendar year. So we wait and see whether Arsenal are going to take it to that level and win that beautiful game of football. But now, this is the moment most of you are really waiting for. What is Rokani's prediction into this encounter? I give Arsenal a win. 3-1 win for the club of Arsenal. That is it. That's what I'm going to really give them, because I know they're having more hunger. And by the time Arsenal comes to play into this game of football, Liverpool and Man City would have already gone ahead to be playing. And when you look at the Premier League table, Arsenal, when you look at the Premier League table and look at the standings, right? Arsenal, when you look at the Premier League standings, Arsenal are having 49 points. Man City is having 49 and Liverpool is having 51. So, Liverpool are playing on Saturday and Man City are playing on Saturday, meaning that Arsenal are going to come in through a little bit of pressure. And Liverpool will stretch their lead back to 5 points to 54 if at all they win, and Man City will be having 52 points. So that means Arsenal will come in with more pressure to obviously win and kill off this beautiful game of football. So that's what I had for you here onto the Rokani Media Football. That's all about the match preview between West Ham and Arsenal. I call upon for your additions and subtractions into what I've gonna hate to feed into your heads, and who do you start and who wouldn't you start. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David remains my name. The Muslims Barakallahu Fikum and Juma Karim. I'm out for now. Bye-bye.